test, like you're not doing enough, you need to test more ads, put more creatives into your ad accounts. That's what everyone's gonna tell you in the beginning when you're doing e-commerce. But like the truth is, they're actually legit and it's true. However, you just don't have much direction going on. You don't know what you're doing. And trust me, I learned this the hard way, because for the past 3 years, me and my team, we've tested over 4,000 different ad creatives on Meta, and we've done over $1 million in spend in just Meta alone. And the data keeps telling the same story, that you should be focusing completely and obsessively on branding. And so DTC, it's dying out. It's never gonna go away, don't worry. And if you're not focusing completely on branding, you're gonna die out, and those businesses are just eventually gonna fail. When I say this across the board. And so it's not in a specific niche, so it's not just for dropshipping brands. No, I see it going from even personal brands to the biggest celebrity brands, biggest e-commerce brands that don't really have a face. Let's be honest, most products are getting commoditized, so you can just find them everywhere. You just open Amazon, you open Walmart. Even if you're running ads, people might not fall into your funnel. They can just like go on Google, they can just look up the product. Everyone's competing for that same sale. And when that happens, margins go down. You don't really want to be focused on that and don't want to compete on that. That's not how you're going to get healthy profit margins over a long period of time. Second big thing that I see going on is that people are just using these language models like ChatGPT, Gemini. They're doing their full shopping experience on, let's say, Gemini, and they go from the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel completely inside these apps. And that's really hard for you to get a commission in. Let's say someone has a symptom, they have headaches, and then they search and keep asking questions to these AI models. Based on this, what's the best supplement that I can take? ChatGPT is going to recommend you like 2 or 3 products. They're going to go based off of web mentions. So the more you mention, the better. The more reviews you have, the better. It's going to get really competitive at the top, and it's just going to like settle down, and these new players are not going to have much room for entrance. The third point is the direct response model. So let's say you're doing straight drop shipping, you go on Meta, and these days it's such a bloodbath because you have a ton of competitors. Lots of people are already running your product. With the rise of AI, anyone can just like copy your ad, make an ad that looks the exact same. It's going to be based on trust. It's going to be based on how big the audience is and how relatable that brand is to you. So how much you identify with the brand. And the definition of that is branding. If you do things correctly, if they have a good product experience, then that means they're going to be repeat customers, and that's the most important thing that you can strive for. And also a big important thing that I think should not be neglected is almost the anti-AI. So I think word of mouth is going to be really, really important. And real life recommendations, let's be honest, it's even better than having an AI recommending you anything. So now obviously what you need to know is how can you take this into your own business, into your own brand. If I had to wash it all down into just 3 simple things, the first one is know your person. I don't mean like a niche, I don't mean demographics, no. I mean one singular person, your ICP, exactly what brands they're looking at, their pain points, their aspirations. In order to do that, you need to do some market research, check competitors, check on Reddit, organic content. You have a ton of resources, you just have to put in the work. The second step is be consistent with your messaging. As you know, you have the 4 channels: paid ads, organic, affiliate in UGC, and word of mouth. They all need to be like rowing in the same direction, you know, they all have to be engaged across all these channels. Obviously, you're gonna have to adapt it because in the top, you have to focus more on the pain points they have, and in the bottom, you have to explain more about the promotion, the solution that's really good that you have. Obviously, you have like inner messaging, but your core messaging has to be, where are you? Where do you want to go? And it's just going to take volume, it's going to take consistency, and you can't really take shortcuts because people are getting smarter, you know? And the third point is exactly that. Like, they know the options out there, they know which ones they relate to more. At the end of the day, it's a game of relatability. So the more you relate to them, the better it's gonna work out for you. You know, I'm sure every one of you has social media. So what I think is people are not really connecting with friends anymore on like Instagram and even TikTok. A lot of people have incognito profiles. What brands are doing, personal brands and creators are doing as well, is generating relatable content. It's more relatable than ever. It's exactly like the rise of UGC and ads. Everyone talks about UGC. And it's true, because why? People resonate with people. And I also want to focus on a couple things that I think are really important. And these days, like on YouTube, on Reels, you just see every AI can do this. You can just replicate an entire store. You can finance products and manufacturing and fulfillment from anywhere. And although those things are good for you to build initially, I think you also have to look at it from a very clear standpoint, because those things are also not going to help you. Why? Because they're going to reduce friction to start. And when a lot of people start, competition is just going to get more fierce. It's going to be harder. Let's be honest, if everyone's doing the same AI slop ads, there's nothing that's going to differentiate you from the guy next door. You need to do something different. And that something different is going to be all about personality, because that's the only thing that they can steal from you, because being on the computer, everyone can do. Don't sleep on it. If you think you don't have a personal brand, that's false, because you already do. And you should just take the most advantage out of it. Make sure to control the way that people perceive you and how they go about talking about who you actually are. I have some self-doubt, because I look at all these creators online and I think, well, this has to be separated. Like, there's so many people posting content. You gotta stop self-doubts, and the only way to do it is just by committing yourself to posting. The best way to be consistent is by getting someone to hold you accountable to keep on track. Now, the second thing I really pay attention to is the whole funnel. And the whole funnel, just like how I told you, the thing that I'm more interested in is creating engaging and highly authentic content, because that's just gonna make sure that whenever my videos, my reels get pushed to new people, they're gonna resonate with me, hopefully. So the people that are actually sharing the same interests as I do, they're gonna identify with it, they're gonna be relatable, and so they're gonna keep following me, or they're gonna keep watching my posts. And if that happens, I'm building trust with them. I gotta be consistent with my message. I gotta be consistent with the way that I portray myself, that I carry myself, because that's just gonna compound and generate results over time. If you compare to like posting a bunch of different contents, bunch of different styles of videos, people are just not going to resonate much, because you're attracting a bunch of different people at the same time. So it doesn't really make sense. The one thing that I'm focusing on is average view duration. I don't care if it's Reels or if it's YouTube. Average view duration is the single most important thing. If they stay watching for 10-15 minutes, that's a high level of engagement. So they relate to you on a high level. Like, if they just watch 10 seconds of you, that means you're not being interesting, you're not being engaging. So if you want to know how I go about things, I'm gonna tell you this: I'm in this for the long term. Whether it's creating content, whether it's building brands, I'm gonna stick with this for the long term, because that's just the only way that you're gonna reap the most rewards. Work now so that you can later on get the rewards of your later. And so if you like that as well, follow me, keep watching our stuff, because we're only getting started and it's getting bigger and bigger.